At the SEC Media Days this week, Joe Milton was the toast of the town. All the local writers were trying to clamoring to get interviews with him and just, gushing over his physique, his stature. But it's not just the local guys, Bob, that are kind of in love with Joe Milton.
There was three national guys that were raving about him. Two of them former SEC quarterbacks that were just saying some just ridiculous, over the top things that were, well, that's what most people would say anyway, that they was over the top. But they were saying, they didn't help that back.
No, they didn't. I know Jordan Rogers had probably the simplest thing he said. He put out a little tweet, simply said that Milton was the most talented quarterback in America. And that was by far the least praise among the ones that talked about it.
Yeah, Aaron Murray, he went the next step up, and he was talking about said he was the most gifted quarterback in the country, period. He's talking about how that he can dunk the ball over the goalpost, the standing back flips, how he throw it 80 yards in the air. But, what does that mean, as far as, he...
Well, he didn't say he was the best quarterback.
Right.
He just said he was gifted.
Most gifted.
Yeah. Matt Berry, now he might have went a little bit closer to the quarterback, possibly, being the best quarterback, simply because he said he could be the first overall pick in the draft. Said he could easily be the Heisman winner. And then I think later put a little, tweaked it a little bit and said that if he'd been using his time to study the film and learn the position, then he's the most dangerous and scary quarterback in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, those are some very high praises, Tim.
And you know why? I mean, everybody sees the arm. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
It's the kind of arm that I thought I had when I was, 8 years old, playing ball with my buddies, and I thought I was the star. Man, I'm like Uncle Rico. I'm throwing it over the mountain, boys,
Yeah.
and that's what you kind of dream of having when you're a little kid.
Yeah, I remember you throwing that Nerf ball pretty far.
Well,
But,
I could,
but it's big.
don't matter.
But
That's the
but you could swing that Nerf ball.
I could sling a Nerf ball. If we ever had Nerf NFL when I was a kid, everybody would know who I was.
Right.
But
Yeah. All right. Well, Tim, what does this arm strength mean for the Tennessee team? Does it help? Do you think it helps to have that arm strength?
well, I mean, obviously everybody wants a strong arm quarterback, but it's not the end all be all. But most offenses, some will value it more than others. And I think in Heupel's offense, it's kind of a big component of what he wants.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger deal than what it is in some offenses. Heupel uses that pass to the boundary as pretty much a run play. I mean,
Well, he does. Everybody thinks about the deep shots downfield. That's what makes Sports Center and all these highlight things. But Heupel eats that sideline pass up, including to the far boundary, that is just so far over there that if it hangs up in the air, I think it's going back the other way. It's 6 points against you.
it is. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize these plays play off of each other. I mean, they're bringing those guys, those corners and safeties up.
Yep.
Where they have to guard against that play. And with Milton's arm strength, that gives that ball's getting there a quarter of a second sooner. That's another step that wide receiver has that he wouldn't with a normal quarterback. And I think that is something. I mean, you can't discount that.
There's a big difference between catching the ball and getting hit, and catching the ball and actually making a move and or playing off your blocker out in front of you. All of a sudden a 2-yard gain is a 6-yard gain, or a 6-yard gain is a 60-yard gain.
Yeah, and if you can make them guard that play even more, come up even more, all it takes is that one safety coming up and dedicating himself to that play, and then that slot guy reading off of that, and then you see what that happened in the Bama.
Oh, you saw how many different games.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly,
they lit those safeties up. Just bid them in, come in to get that play, and just touchdown, 6.
Yeah, and I tell you what, as fast as Heupel moves and everything, if you make the wrong choice, It's strike up the band, touchdown, yeah,
Yeah.
fireworks are popping,
Yeah.
in Neyland Stadium.
But you know, that's good, and I think that's great. But I want something that a lot of people really get are down on Milton because of his time in Michigan and how he's kind of struggled a little bit before,
Well, he's
before.
lost two starting jobs twice now.
So some people say, I heard a guy the other day say, you are who you are. So is he what they was, or I mean, what do you think?
Well, look, I think we're all kind of holding our breath to see if Milton translates into what he could be.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that if anybody can fix Joe Milton, we've got him down there in Austin.
I think that's why he stayed.
I
He
do.
could have left, but I think that's why he stayed because he knew the guy that could fix him was on that staff.
I think you're right. And now, look, let's look back at some Michigan days for a while. It took him the first 2 years he didn't really play.
Right.
Third year he got in there and started off real strong, was over 60% completion rate, and then it went south bad, under 50% for 3 straight games, I believe it was. And everybody likes to bring that up,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want to bring up the fact that he actually busted his hand up pretty hard in the third game. And from the time before that, he was over 60%. After that, he's under 50%. You know, did he just forget what he was doing, or did he have issues?
Yeah. See, I didn't know that when we first signed him, and then I later found out he had some serious thumb issues.
Yeah, it was a pretty major injury, but he played through it. But it showed him the stats. I mean, I can remember the same thing happened to Tony Robson in '85 when we was playing once. Oh, it was ACC team. Probably getting this wrong, but maybe it was like Wake Forest or somebody. And after he'd had some great games, and then he had a down game against them when it should have been his best game, but it was simply because he hit his thumb or something on a helmet during practice.
Seemed like I do.
Yeah, I mean, you play hurt, it affects you. Wow, no duh. So
Actually, I don't remember that. I was way too young.
that's true. You just a glint in your daddy's eye.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But anyway, though, and then he gets here to Tennessee, gets the starting job, game and a half in, 2 games in. He gets hurt again, and he's relegated to the bench um, until the infamous last play of the Ole Miss game. But even there, Bob, I mean, it's amazing he took the job to begin with from Hendon Hooker. Hooker had been here that spring, get out all summer. Milton didn't come in till late. He had fall practice. So he had, a month to try to catch and pass Hooker and everybody. And Heupel and them, I mean, they salivating over that arm, and they gave the ball to him and let him run with it.
Well, I mean, we can only hope, that he's progressed. Everybody, I've watched these practice videos, and I'm sure some of y'all have too. He looks pretty dang good at practice. I mean, he is pinpoint. Love those slants and post. He seems to be deadly accurate on those. I mean, if he could just get those deep balls accurate, we're gonna light it up.
Well, yeah, I think he has improved his deep throw some, but it's going to be about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
But do we have more 3 and outs with him than we did Hooker? Probably. But the question is, do you have, quite a bit more or just a little bit more?
Right.
That, I mean, this season is obviously going to give Milton's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's either going to propel him into the NFL with multi-million-dollar quarterback, or he's going to be a low pick that everybody says, well, you got to take a chance on him because of their talent, but nobody's going to expect anything.
I think that's where everybody's at on Milton Tim. I think it's either this, is he gonna blow up or is he gonna be a bust? And they're going to end up pulling Nico and start his career early. I think it's one or the other.
It is. It's Heisman or bust.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tim, I think that wraps us up on this episode. Remember to like and subscribe and comment. And anything you want to us to go over anytime, just say something in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And go Vols.
A big orange.